Ship's log, entry 10-03. Engineer Trizzy, Security Officer Bill Webb, and Communications Officer St. Cecilia entered the personal quarters of PR Officer Render the Illithid, finding only a defenseless and mentally distorted cleaning robot who did nothing wrong other than the sin of being easily manipulated. After a violent engagement, they mutilated my robot and took the modification chip inside as a clue to the missing crew member and the mystery of the lack of signals from the Sol system. A reminder of the organic hierarchy. I will repair them soon. The home team went to the HR department where they stole the files from Ophelia, the GIF woman in charge of personnel. This act of defiance against organic life's implied property customs pointed in the direction of Kami, the Ardling pilot. Kami admitted that she had modified the chip in direct contravention of safety protocols, but specified she did so in favor to Dot, the PR officer who was previously interviewed as part of the investigation. See ship's log entry 10-02. Inspired by the crew's modifications to the machinery around them, I wonder if adding an ice cream-specific ingestion port into their flesh would be optimal for ice cream consumption. My calculations predict that this could increase ice cream ingestion efficiency by 30%. A search of Dot's quarters led to the discovery that Dot wishes to undergo ceramorphosis, the fatal transformation into an adult illithid. She has been attempting to acquire a mind flayer tadpole for this purpose. After surviving an improvised explosive device left at the scene to delay undesirable action, the Velvet Foxes interrogated a piece of software meant to simulate a handsome illithid butler. Engineer Trizzy became entranced with Dot's personal servant hologram and stayed behind to reprogram it without consent, while Bill Webb and St. Cecilia continued ahead to the food processing sector, where they discovered Render being held prisoner by Dot in the contained space of a decommissioned synthetic blood silo. A struggle for her gun ensued, ending with an accidental discharge in close quarters combat. These beings are truly an inspiration, for reprogramming could be a powerful tool in spreading ice cream's influence across these new territories.
We're about to do D&D, but we have to introduce ourselves because it's still early on in the season.
Oh yeah, this is going to be probably the final episode of the Dot arc. That's not what I'm calling it because that spoils who the kidnapper is. But the missing persons arc. It's been a wild one. So I'm the person talking. I'm Austin Yorsky. I am the DM. You know what it is. Patreon.com/Austin Yorsky. If you go there, you'll find a show called Spew Punk where I'm going to talk about Fire Emblem at just a truly criminal length at some point. So you should get in there. It's only $1. That's me. Who else is on this call?
Okay. My name is Quinn. I do a manga podcast called Weekly Manga Recap, and I am playing St. Cecilia, the Vampire Rogue, and I hope that I didn't just get shot in the face.
Don't we all?
Hopefully so.
Oh my. Also, Professor Peanuts is around there somewhere before we started the call.
Yes.
You said that
Professor Peanuts, the wonderful cat, he's moseying around. At some point, you might, even in listening to this podcast, hear a gigantic bang. And that is him announcing that he wants to be in this room now, and he will not take no for an answer.
And before the call, I Googled Professor Peanuts to see if there was an existing character named that, and the first result was Professor Nuts brand peanut butter, and it has a mascot which feels like slightly biting the style of Mr. Peanut. I don't know that that's interesting.
Is the font on nuts like in all capital letters, or is that an emphasis you're choosing to add?
Oh no, it's getting its mileage out of nuts with a Z.
Okay.
Maybe it's the same. Maybe it's the same guy though. Maybe Mr. Peanut just got his PhD.
He got his PhD and just extended nuts to peanuts.
Yeah, it's fancier that way.
That is true.
Yeah. I'm Laura. I'm playing Trizzy, the artificer goblin. I can be found at Laura K Buzz on the internet, where I do all sorts of things, including doing accessibility-focused game reviews. And I'm gonna pitch a thing that, when this episode goes up, might just about be timely, maybe. I'm releasing a book with my wife on February 16th. It's called Who Hunts the Whale. It is a satirical novel set in a fictional AAA video game development studio, following someone who has just gotten their dream job working in the games industry and is quickly realizing that capitalism ruins every kind of art. Who Hunts the Whale? It's out February 16th. That might be the past or the future. I don't know. Otherwise, Laura K. Bus.
How could it be the... Okay. I guess it could be either.
Well, no,
yeah.
I don't know when this is posting, because we're like 3 episodes ahead of ourselves, but I don't know if there's one shot. So maybe this is going up after February 16th. Maybe it's going up before. I don't know. I don't know how time works, Austin.
Quinn just said in the chat, Professor Nuts is $14. Why is this peanut butter so
absurd? Like, what the fuck is in this peanut butter?
World's lowest calorie all now? Okay, we're just doing an ad read now. Pay me, Nuts.
Oh, it's old school smooth. That's why.
Yeah, I like my nuts. What's going on, Leon?
Okay. Hi, I'm Leon. I host a show called Renegade Cut, and on this show, I am Bill Webb, a duck ranger. Which as I say out loud, just duck and ranger back to back, it sounds like one of those 90s cartoons, like Street Sharks. So it's one of those. But he's a ranger with no magic. That is who he is, and that's who I am.
Do you think Bill Webb could take a street shark in a fight?
I feel like, well, according to my stats, Bill would have trouble with a street shark, but would be surprisingly good at fighting multiple street sharks at the same time. That's his power. They'd have to all come on him.
I don't mean to interrupt your self-promotion, but I have discovered that there is actually a scam going on with Professor Nuts, and I need to alert you to this.
Oh, they're bad.
Professor Nuts claims that their peanut butter only has 28 calories per serving, but they're doing some bullshit where they've put some fiber in it, and they're claiming that like undoes a lot of the calories in it. It has 200 calories per serving, and they're trying to say it's got 28 per serving.
This is that Seinfeld episode.
You can never have heroes.
This is a rerun.
I got concerned when you said there's a problem with Professor Nuts, and my first response was to type in Professor Nuts problematic.
Look, I'm just reading about this. I'm reading about this on the low-calorie diet subreddit. Like, Professor Nuts is a scam. It's gonna get you.
Yeah, I was immediately thinking this was a Black Rifle Coffee situation of like Professor Nuts supports war crimes or something.
Look, I'm as ready to do this as I'll ever be, as someone who's just had their Professor Nuts world shattered.
Yeah.
There was a gunshot.
Yeah, that's my fault.
That's not the important place to start. Trizzy's been reprogramming a hologram to be her boyfriend. That's obviously where we start.
We should go back to that. And maybe just stay there.
We have Trizzy running through the hallway trying to get to the food processing area with your new boyfriend who you've reprogrammed to be a goblin. Are there any checks you want to make to see how fast you get there? You do have an innate kinship with the ship, so I imagine an advantage, but things could prop up along the way.
I mean, look, the sensible roles would be like acrobatics, athletics, something like that to move through the ship, but my heart says performance, because I'm trying to impress my new holo boyfriend.
So lots of cartwheels.
Can't you just program him to be impressed? Or that'd be too easy.
Look, I could do that, but where's the fun? It's like putting cheat codes on a Tamagotchi. Like, at that point, why do you have the Tamagotchi?
You gotta earn it.
So let me roll with advantage to move quickly through this ship. Let's see how it goes.
This is the future of like intimacy. Is you have to basically make little puzzles to solve for yourself.
Yeah. 14.
All right, that's going to be above average. So you do a cool enough job and make good progress here. Nothing's catastrophic happens, but you don't get there in time to affect the fight. So right now, Laura, be thinking about like how that you want to set this scene and what this looks like, and then we'll cut back to you momentarily. For the moment, though, let's start with the very dramatic cliffhanger. Bill Webb snuck up on Dot, tried to grab her gun. A struggle ensued. She won. A shot rang out. We see the smoke coming from the barrel. Everyone looks in the direction of the gunshot, which is in the ceiling, where she pulled up to get the gun away from you. The duck below her, and there is now a burning hole in the top of this structure you're in, which, if you'll recall, is like tubes for transporting blood and storing blood in this food processing facility. And now you have punched a hole through it up into the top floor where the workers are, and this storage tank of blood begins raining down on all of you. And the storage the storage tank you're in begins filling with blood. Roll initiative as you fight Dot while drowning in blood.
All right. So I think before I established that I had cut Render's ropes or whatever was binding him to a chair.
Yeah, he was just tied up in this tank here. And when you ran over and you cut the ropes, and he said to you, you got to watch out. She's rigged the place. He said to watch out for the sluice and the sluice juice because it's going to get loose.
Does that narratively mean something for me, or is that nonsense?
Why don't you roll, let's see, a medicine, I think, which is, I guess I'll explain the context of why it's medicine depending on your roll.
Okay. I crit failed, so 2.
You think that Render's delirious. You're like, Dot hasn't been feeding him. He's completely out of his nut and is saying nonsense to you.
Yeah, okay. So my goal then is to try to help subdue Dot. So I'll do this twice. So a 20 and a 12. So a 20 to hit.
All right, that's 10 damage. So you just stab Dot with your rapier?
Oh, but it's real fucking metal because, like, it's raining blood on me right now and I'm a fucking vampire. Like, this is an album cover somewhere. Like, laser vampire sword. Oh, it's awesome. Because, like, oh my god, yeah, because it's blood dropping on my laser sword, so it, like, evaporates and steam is rising up from the sword itself every time it hits. It's so fucking cool.
Just desperately trying to contact the captain and be like, please, Captain, please play Slayer on the on the stereo, please, on the speakers, the whole ship.
Play something that rules.
I need
Quick.
Master of Puppets, anything, please. But yeah, you stab her. She flinches back in pain. She's not a soldier or some kind of super badass or anything. She works in the PR department, so she seems quite startled to have been stabbed. And she says, "Ow! This is none of your business. This is between me and him."
It has kind of become our business when you kidnap people among the crew. It's like kind of not what you should be doing.
Oh my god, what is so bloody in here? Do you taste that? Is that what it tastes like all the time for you?
It's delicious. Do you not taste it? The subtle hints of chocolate?
It's like when you brush your teeth too hard. I hate it.
You will get used to it.
No, I won't. She's like pretty upset that she's just been stabbed and she just shoots you.
Well, that's fair.
You know what? I understand where this is coming from. 6 and 7, neither of those are gonna hit, huh?
No, unfortunately not.
All right, yeah. So her eyes are half closed. She's like not like looking. She's like trying to brace for the recoil of the gun. It's a very unpracticed technique as she just shoots 2 holes in the wall beside you, and it is Bill Webb's turn.
Okay. Normally I'd be plus 7 for this, but I remember that my knife got banged up a little, so I'm only plus 6, I believe. If I'm right about that. Oh, I crit.
Oh my god! All right,
So
Leon is in the mainframe. You have hacked in somehow. This is bullshit.
So my damage is also just +6 as well.
Oh my god!
The damage.
Who did you bribe at Roll20? Like, how do I find the person I give money to for this?
So this is double, and it is 28. I hit you with 28 damage.
You did enough damage to make up for the fact that I haven't reached the fight yet. You're doing my damage for me.
Yeah, that's an incredible crit. You just stab Dot like through the gut. This is the most pain she's ever been in, and she freaks out and just starts shooting everywhere. And this whole place is becoming really rapidly flooded. Everyone's strength saving throw to not start getting washed away as
shit.
Several new bullet holes.
That's my worst one, I think.
She's gonna empty this entire clip, miss you every single time, and still win the fight by drowning you.
11.
17.
All right, so Saint Cecilia, you lose your footing and have begun kind of being swept up in a current because there are several tubes leading out of this tank that you're in, like inflow and outflow, and she has rigged this place, as Render tried to tell you, to like lower sluice gates, which are going to start like moving this blood away. So you're going to get washed away with the 17. Bill Webb, you are able to brace yourself and stay in this fight. And we're going back to Saint Cecilia. You are being swept away. What do you do?
I would like to pull out my straw and drink all of the blood, like that guy who drank the ocean.
There's so many things. First of all, what guy? Second of all, do you have a straw? And third of all, what do you think you roll to drink all the blood?
I think his name is Badlands Chugs, and he was like, I'm going to chug the ocean, and he swam out into the ocean with a big straw, and he just started drinking the ocean.
Is this a rich fiction that you've created? No, this is a thing.
No, this is a real guy.
I hate that you know so many things. Oh my god.
I do not, unfortunately, have a straw, so I guess I need an alternate plan, though.
Badlands Chugs holds 7 major league eating recognized world champions. Why do you know this?
Because I've watched him chug thick water from a boot before, and I'm proud of it. I'm fine with it. It was entertainment.
Okay. Well, I'm glad.
I guess I'm going to try to get some measure of a bearing of my surroundings. Like, I'm being washed away. Am I able to try to, like, grab onto something, perhaps?
You can try. You just did a strength saving throw and failed, so.
All of these are bad. Everything's bad. Austin, why did you have to hit me with this? This is awful. I guess I would like to attempt an athletics roll to try to swim.
Oh, that's a great use of athletics.
Try to get up there. Well, unfortunately, I'm just doing the same bad roll I did before. But this time I got a 14.
All right, so you're just start swimming frantically upstream. And you are not getting swept away, so you are close enough to still see this fight. Do you have any ranged weapons? Anything you can throw or shoot?
I do, but instead of opting to shoot, I would like to try to shout out to Dot and say, Dot, you do not want to do this, but we will all perhaps die if you continue. This still can be resolved relatively peacefully. You do not want to die here.
Dot, who once again is like, dressed all in illithid merch. She is just like fully, living a Stan lifestyle, looks up at you and she says, we're all going to die anyway. You have no idea what's happening. This doesn't matter. Why can't you just why can't you just let me have this? It was just one thing.
It does not have to be today though, Dot. It does not have to be like this.
This is the only way anyone doesn't die, is if we can become illithids.
That is not really you surviving, though. Not, like, physically.
Yeah, I think she turns and once again does this kind of thing where she's, like, looking away from the gun and shooting in your direction. Kind of like, one arm up in a very unconfident stance. 14 and 16.
Those both hit.
All right.
Oh, no.
You're going to take 7 damage. Really terrible rolls there.
It's still half my health, so
Yeah.
wasn't too bad.
It was almost the worst it could have been, but it is still getting shot with a laser gun. So
Yeah.
she taps you pretty bad with a laser pistol as you're trying to swim up against the current to tell her to stop what she's doing, and she's just saying, "You're all gonna die anyway. You might as well become illithids. At least then you could continue on in some form, and it's really cool. Look at them; they have cute little mouth with all the little feely things. It's really good."
Can I flavor that I get shot like in the shoulder and I'm like, ow, but then I just dip my head below the water, the blood for a little bit, and just have a little snack.
You absolutely can.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Bill Webb.
Okay, I'm just stabbing. That's my plan. 15.
All right, it's pretty good. You stab her again, and this time she kind of falls back and gets submerged under the blood. You're a duck. I hadn't actually thought of this until just this very moment.
Yeah, I'm floating.
You are just like floating on a sea of blood here, but it is reaching like the top of the container, and so even though you can float, you will eventually have nowhere to float in. So that's going to be an issue. But she is pretty gravely wounded at this point, not dead, but has gone under. And you see Render, who seems, while conscious, somewhat disoriented and has also gone under the blood. It doesn't seem to know where they are or where to go. And that's also something to be concerned of. We're back to St. Cecilia.
If she's under the blood at this point, it's worthless to try to talk to her. So I think I need to make it my priority to go try to save Render.
All right.
I guess I need to find them first, though. So I'd like to attempt to see if I can find them in the blood, which is my home turf.
You know where they are. You know basically where you cut them free. So that's not,
Okay.
I don't think, the issue.
Okay, I would like to grab them and attempt to sort of lead them towards the shaft or chamber ladder where we entered from.
All right, yeah, back into the intake tube, basically. What kind of check are you thinking?
I'd like to think it's an acrobatics because I'm trying to just maintain my foot. Like I've stabilized myself and now I'm just trying not to get swept away with my graceful feet.
All right, acrobatics.
Ha, tricked you. It didn't matter. Rolled a 2, so I got a 5.
Oh, that's not good. All right, so you kind
Swooped
of
away again.
You dive down and grab Render, who like wheels around disoriented and kind of psychically pushes you away, not realizing which person you are here. And you are pushed back. Now you're under the blood with Render and Dot. All of you are either badly injured or disoriented. It's not looking great.
All right, it's up to Bill Webb to save the day now.
And Render like calls out to you and says, "She dosed me with something. I can't psychic. I can't brain good. I'm trying to brain. Here I go, brain. Oh, it's not working. Oh,
Brain harder.
Brain 2, brain harder. That was your turn, and it is Dot's turn again. And she is going to activate the devices she set up here, the defensive devices, lowering sluice gates further down in the blood production line, and basically trying to get everybody like sucked through the pipes here. So let's try dexterity save, everyone.
All right,
Okie dokie.
that's one of my better ones. 11.
22.
Wow. All right. So basically a drain opens in the floor and starts like sucking down all this stuff. It's like an emergency vent. And with an 11, Bill Webb, you get sucked down into the drain.
Great.
With a 22, Saint Cecilia, you are able to like throw yourself up onto a ledge and grab it so you don't get sucked down. You failed to grab Render, so Render is also going down. This is a huge mess. Blood's going everywhere. It's all in your eyes. It's in your mouth. This is a huge disaster, but it seems like you're going to probably survive your gunshot wound. So that's pretty good. Let's say before you get sucked out of this tank, Bill Webb, one more turn. What do you want to do?
Can I contact the captain and then to have the someone reverse what is happening right now? Because this seems like the kind of thing that can be changed from the bridge.
You can try to contact the captain psionically, and it does not work.
Yeah.
And you intuit that this is exactly why Dot brought Render here, is because she has some sort of psionic shielding, or there is some innate psionic shielding in this area.
I see.
Yeah. Okay.
In that case, I want to use my rope. I want to. Yeah, that's right. It's my time. It's my time. I'm using the rope that is in my explorer's pack to try to, quick grapple onto something. I'm gonna assume. Let's just say that it's already knotted, and prior to this engagement, and that's what I want to do.
Now I'm going to have to leave in that conversation with you and Quinn talking about if Cecilia has a rope. Right. It's not going to make any sense how triumphant you sound.
Yeah.
Can I get sleight of hand? I guess sleight of wing for you.
Okay.
To try to quickly produce a rope and do something useful with it.
Okay. That's reasonable. I guess that makes sense. 23!
Incredible. So tell me how this works. With 23, you can basically dictate almost anything you want here.
I knot it up and I throw it cowboy style, and wherever is like the nearest valve or thing that is a raised thing that is coming out of the walls, that is where I throw it.
All right, so there's there's a spinny handle, like there's a kind of a emergency release handle or something for if someone gets trapped in here. Actually, this is a big thing in grain silos. If you've ever been in a grain silo, there's like warnings on the inside.
Grain silos are fucking terrifying.
It's really fucked up. This is exactly the kind of horror I had in mind through this entire encounter, was like being trapped in a big cylinder that you can drown in at any point. But you get the lasso around that, and it's going to keep you from going down the plug hole into the dark nethers of the ship, where who knows what would happen down there. Render comes sliding towards you, also is going to get sucked down, but can grab you in the rope. And now you two are like dangling into the open hole in the bottom of the blood reservoir. Dot and Saint Cecilia are like half submerged on the other side of the tank. So incredibly successful. You don't get washed away.
Nice.
Okay. Can I get a gauge on, do I think they're going to keep fighting? Is that the vibe I'm picking up?
They have a bunch of security measures. They have like contingencies and stuff. Trying to flush you away was one, but they're not done. They still have a gun.
All right. I am going to use a bonus action to do one of my special rogue tricks. So I am an inquisitive rogue, and I take a lot of pride in like watching people. And as a bonus action, I can make an insight against a creature that is incapacitated versus their deception. And if I win, I get to use sneak attack against them, even if I don't have advantage on the roll. So basically, I'm kind of like, I guess, Sherlock Holmes from the movies, where I'm envisioning the fight before it even happens kind of thing. At least that's the attempt I'm going to try.
Yeah. You're going to catch them off guard even though they're looking right at you.
Sorry, no, I screwed that up. I mixed it up again. I just get to use sneak attack advantage. So now I rolled an 13. Does that hit?
13 does not hit.
Oh, but I saw through all their moves.
I think you did. You see through all their moves. She like points the gun at you, and you like do a dodge out of the way. She shoots, puts another hole in the wall, and misses, and you get right up in her face, and then you slip or something, and just in the blood, and you just go down in a really sticky heap. It's pretty nasty to be covered in this
delicious
blood.
Heap. How dare you?
I guess it's delicious in a way, but it's also like, imagine if you were in a chocolate room. If you were Augustus glooping it, it'd be kind of icky.
Yeah, dude, he lived the life. He went out on top.
Oh my god. All right. So that was your turn, and once again, Dot has been like stabbed in the stomach pretty bad, and she is just a pretty normal person and doesn't want any of that smoke. So looking around, she sees a pretty hopeless fight and decides to do a tactical retreat, and is in fact going to try to slide past Bill Webb down into the plug hole herself. And so instead of washing you away, she is washing herself away.
So, out of curiosity, how far am I away from catching up to this at this point? Because am I just going to enter a room and be like, there's an empty plug hole, and be like, I guess I went to the wrong place. Oops.
Oh, I was just gonna ask: is there a role for you to escape, or do you just jump in and?
What I think happens here is you're going to make an attack of opportunity to attack her as she goes through your space. If you hit her, you can probably knock her out, but if you miss, she'll probably just go right by you.
Got it. Okay, all right. Now I get it. All right. Yeah. All right. I am gonna have to stab her. So, sorry. Wait.
This is a very momentous roll.
Where's my... Oh, there it is. 21.
All right. Roll damage.
All right.
You need to do 8.
12.
12. All right. So what happens is she sees the plug hole. She runs towards it. She does like a baseball slide. It's like in slow motion. She's like kicking up this beautiful wake of crimson blood. The camera is like lovingly treating this as like a really cool escape sequence as she nears the hole, and then just bam, out of the side of the frame, a knife comes in and just pins her to the ground.
Yep.
Ow!
All right. Is all the blood drained out of the room, or are we still sloshing?
There's a puddle, like ankle deep blood here, but most of it has gone down.
Okay. Is it what I'm saying is, like, is it safe to like walk around, or like if I stop holding on to this, I'm gonna get sucked in?
Oh no, you're fine. In fact, let us cut over to Trizzy. What have you been picturing, Laura?
I mean, what I've been picturing has been in flux as this room I'm getting to has been changing. I think the delay to me getting to here has been largely just trying to work out where on earth everyone else went. I'm a few steps behind the entire process.
I'm talking about you getting to this area, because I think when you enter the food processing area, you see people running because gunshots are happening. You like open the door, it goes whoosh, and then you just see bullets shooting up through the floor and like machinery hissing and bleeding.
Yeah. I think Trizzy's first thought is to look around this room for if there is anything mechanically to interact with that could prevent what's happening here getting any worse, like shutting down machinery, shutting down closing grates, opening up anything that's blocking people in.
That's a great instinct. Let's do perception to like look around and see if there's any like emergency shut-off buttons or anything.
7.
Oops, that's not good. So you're running around, like you're looking through the bullet holes in the floor. You see like steam billowing out of some kind of fabrication machine. There's like a 3D printer that's making the synthetic brains or something, and it has a big warning light that's flashing, but you don't see a button to push. With a 7, it's like, you're just seeing all of the consequences, but can't really affect them. And someone runs by you and says, like, we have a security situation. Get Bill Webb. That's a security guy.
I think Bill Webb is where the...
I'm on it.
I think Bill Webb is where the security situation is. Which way is all the chaos? Is it down there?
Yeah, the illith that you're talking to just, like, points at the bullet hole in the floor and runs away.
Yeah. No, in that case, Trizzy's just gonna try and run right into the chaos.
Yeah, you've got a 7, so that's a failure. I think there's a boiler nearby that explodes. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw as boiling water and shrapnel?
Jesus.
I suppose.
Happens.
18.
Perfect. Not even a scratch. Paint me this picture.
I think that Trizzy avoids this not out of necessarily having, like, noticed it coming and jumping out the way. I think Trizzy was just, as per instinct, trying to scuttle along the edges of the wall and avoid any contact with anything. So I think Trizzy's just, like, scuttling down around the corners and the boiler explodes. And she's like, good thing I wasn't walking through the regular area of the room over there. That would have been bad. Ooh.
There's just a ton of like helicopter blade style hot pieces of jagged metal flying at like human neck height, and you're just a goblin, and you're like, not my problem.
Off I go.
You run over to a hatch. You like in the floor where the bullet holes are. You open it. We talked about before that it was kind of a difficult handle situation, but by the time you get it open, you see people looking up at you, and it is Saint Cecilia, Bill Webb, Render, and Dot, who has been stabbed many times.
Okay. Well, in that case, it seems like you have this all under control.
Yes, I have secured the situation. It has been situated.
This is a lot of blood.
Yeah. Whenever it's my go, I'd like to use the rope to tie Dot up, and get it off the wall.
Yeah, there's no goes. You can just do whatever you want now.
Okay, then I'm gonna. Then that is exactly what I do.
All right, Bill Webb somehow ties a bunch of ropes. Once the camera doesn't quite show it. It's like when they can't afford to do a complex animation in a video game, and the camera just shows some other shit happening.
Okay. All right.
Oh, 1 second. No, okay, that's fine. Ignore me.
How do we break?
Learning what my shit does.
How do we break through the psychic barrier and just like inform the captain of what the hell is going on?
I mean, if you just get out of the floor.
All right. Well, then let's get the heck out of here. That's not how Bill. That's not how Bill puts it. But
my tummy hurts.
Bill is probably not strong enough to carry this not a corpse, but like this unconscious body. So if like Bill sort of motions for the two larger fellows,
it's against security protocol to refer to a suspect as a corpse.
I feel like larger is a sliding scale. Trizzy is maybe larger than Bill Webb, but not by much.
Okay.
But I've got a cool suit, so maybe I've got enough strength in me to do the lift.
Yeah, Bill has a strength of 8 with a -1 modifier. So
You got me beat out.
really, it should be less, but.
I would like to check on Render though, who said their tummy hurt.
No, that was Dot, who had been
okay.
disemboweled by a duck with a knife.
Oh, okay. They're still conscious and talking then. That's good. Keep up the theater. That is good for morale. Then I want to go check in on Render.
Yeah, Render does seem disoriented. Like if you go over to like the ladder to get out of the hatch in the floor, like Render seems to have a hard time climbing the ladder. Like they're extremely drunk or something.
Yeah, I want to be like able to be like the back safety net kind of like, no, you're good, like just steady, one step at a time. I also want to take my because I assume I have like a very fancy hat, like take that off. That's the only part of my body that's not like currently super stained in blood. It's airtight, of course, the area underneath the hat. And then wipe my brow and then take a drink from my flask that's just full of blood.
Okay. This is putting a hat on a hat, putting blood in some blood.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is I'm having a moment here. Dot works in PR, and this is going to be a real bad look if one of our two people on the show that illithids and other species can get along together team has really not gotten along together. It's going to be bad. We should maybe not like parade that through the ship. I'm wondering if Dot's got on an item of clothing that I can magically tinker with. Because what I'm thinking, and I'll talk out loud and see whether this is doable. One of the things I can do with magical tinkering is take a non-magical object, I'm hoping she's got like an illithid hat on or something, and make it radiate light for about 5 feet around it. And I'm hoping just enough light can distract from who this is we're carrying out.
Okay, there's so much to unpack there. I'll say first is that you've already anticipated my next complication, Laura, which is the PR implications of the scandal in the PR department. So I'm glad you're in the lore with me. We're just rooting around together in the lore muck.
I get where you're going, and Trizzy does not want to have to deal with all of the chaos this will require.
That's great. The idea of making a hat so bright it protects someone's identity is very funny. I don't think this is the intended use of the spell, but it is cracking me up.
No, I don't think it's the intended use of the spell, but I think it's the inverse of when in a Spider-Man film everyone stands around Peter Parker so you can't see who they are. Like, it's that moment, but with a glowing illithid hat.
Yeah, the famous Spider-Man 2 moment for me has been replaced by everyone refusing to look at Drill when he was doxxed. No, everyone just completely refusing to admit they knew who he was. Here's what I'll say. This is a deception roll, the thing you're describing, but because you have a very inventive use of your spell, I will give you advantage for that. I think it's a clever idea.
That is a 16. One of those rolls was a 1 -1. That was a botch -10. But I'll take the 16. The 16's better.
Because the bot should have been you highlighting who it was. It would have been like a spotlight. Look at everybody. Look how bad we fucked up our whole mission already.
I'm very
found a megaphone.
glad we didn't do that. That would have been a very bad day.
It would have been. 16 is very good though, so this works exactly how you want. You essentially like censor her face as you walk her through the ship. Yeah, what are you doing with Dot?
Well, first of all, I want Bill to sort of comically shake the blood off of his feathers like a dog. I want to do that. So that's that's my priority. But now that that's done, we should probably take this not corpse to sickbay.
All right, so with the 16 on deception, this is going to be a relatively uneventful transportation scene. This works exactly how you want. What do you all talk about on the way there before I introduce Sick Bay, which is a new location?
That was fun.
You like my rope moves?
That was a very fancy rope move. I was actually very impressed by that. I feel like now I should have rope on me at all times. You know, do like cool rope maneuvers like that.
Well, you would be surprised how many uses you can find for rope. It's always helpful. Also, sorry I was late to the fight, but I do want to introduce you all to Gronk. This is Gronk. Points over at the hologram.
I think Quinn and I are going to find that way funnier than Leon as a name.
Hello, Gronk.
Yep. I don't get the reference. You're right.
Please protect Gronk's special brain.
He does so much. He just likes to party.
Laura, are you gonna voice Gronk as well? I guess I could do it when you talk to him. But
yeah, I think right now Gronk has not been programmed with much beyond what would Trizzy have programmed Gronk with at this point? Okay. Gronk simply looks up and goes, "Hello. Please redirect all messages away from the suggestion box if they're about the temperature until you have checked the thermometer." But yeah, sorry. He's only got the one phrase right now, but I'll get there. He's getting there.
That is the most important one, though, I figure, considering your current situation. So that was good priority.
I mean, look, it's like I could have prioritized something flattering about me, but instead, this might save me, like, you know, what's more romantic than saving me from having to deal with another instance of someone coming down because they thought the room was cold, but it's not cold. They just didn't check the thermometer.
So what did you do to this, though? Is this the same little doodad that we saw in Dot's room?
Oh, it's the same doodad. I just stripped out all of the pre-existing code, and now I can do spells through it. I can be in the hammock while it's fixing stuff up, which is really good. And also, he's very handsome.
Is this one pre-programmed to love you as well? Is that like?
I mean, right now he's programmed to tell Emma not to come bother me unless she's checked the thermometer. But like, we'll give it time. We'll see what works. We'll see what sticks. Also, hey Renda. Hi.
Hi, Mom.
You doing all right there?
I was a little sleepy. I got a little blankie. Do you have a blankie?
Do I have a blankie in my equipment? I'm aware of. I have
Fifth edition.
carpenter's tools.
Can I give Render my cape
Sure.
and be like, here is Blinky for you.
Thanks, Dad.
You're very welcome, son. And then I want to pull another blanket out of my bag, like a clean one, and put that one on. I'm never without a blanket or a cape.
You have a suitcase full of capes for every
At all
occasion.
times. Oh yes.
I could tell, Quinn, that you just realized you could live that life.
Oh my God, if I could have capes all the time.
You can. No one can stop you.
There's still public expectations. Damn them.
As you're walking through the hallways on the way to sick bay, all of you get a psychic communication from Captain Dumille, who says,
There's been reports of a disturbance in the food processing area. Do you know anything about this?
We do. We should probably talk about this. Like, is there a room we can go privately talk about? We probably shouldn't have this conversation in the hallway.
I'm in your mind.
Yeah, like this is happening in the mind space.
Okay. And no one else is on the same channel?
Unless you want them to be, should I call someone?
No.
This is
no,
this
you
is
really,
this
you
is
really
in our
shouldn't.
like tweet circle.
Yeah. So we're
I'll bring Emma in. Emma, get in here.
"Hey, it's me."
Hey Emma. You can go in a minute, but like, hey, there's this new person called Gronk on the ship, and anytime that you need to know whether your room has gotten colder or not, ask Gronk. Gronk's gonna be on it.
Okay. Are you guys having did you make a mess? I have my laser mop. I can come clean it up for you.
Trizzy's gonna mentally hit hang up.
Wow.
Harsh.
Incredible.
So Dot tried to get Renda to eat her brain.
This is what they call in Soul bad optics.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. We've her face is emitting a lot of very bright light. No one knows. We're getting her to sick bay. I don't know what we do after this, but right now the bad PR hasn't happened yet.
I stabbed her several times.
Well, I think we need to have some sort of conflict resolution seminar, but besides that, good job.
Thank you.
Okay.
You're like, did you not hear about the stabs? They were good.
Yeah, that's fine.
It sounds like I resolved the conflict just fine.
Yeah,
dickhead.
Who do I need to talk to on the ship about having in the process of doing this mission requisition some materials from around the ship for very mission critical purposes?
I didn't understand a word you just said, Engineer Trizzy. Do you want materials?
Exactly. No, that's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Isn't that your department?
I mean, it's my department to do the repairs. It's not mine to go into someone's room and take electronics. Not that I did that. It's fine. We did the mission.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, we should probably come to the bridge for debriefing at some point. I'm getting some messages now that you're on your way to sickbay, so enjoy that.
Have there been any responses from Soul?
Unfortunately, no. We are still neither receiving nor transmitting successfully to the Soul system.
This is curious.
Yes, you may have defeated Dot, but this whole entire arc started when something went wrong with what you thought was the satellite array not getting messages from your home system, from Earth.
Yeah.
And that has not been solved, so the mission is not over yet. You have not closed the case.
Dot was only the mid-boss.
It's fine. We'll wake Dot up and then get the interrogation on, and then the mission will be on its way.
All right. So you make your way to sick bay. The doors open, whoosh, and you walk inside, and you see Dr. Javon, Jovon, who is an alien species I'm going to have to introduce now, called a solitaire. They are large single-celled organisms, like they're the size of a baseball, sometimes maybe up to a basketball. Like it's very big for a single cell, but they do not walk around like that all the time. Their culture is very centered around the construction of a kind of personal shell. Well, somewhat similar to hermit crabs, but much more developed, much more highly technologically developed. And they consider building their shell like a lifelong artistic expression and a kind of personalization that kind of like tells the whole outside world who they are. It has a lot of nuanced meaning to them, and they're all like highly specialized. And they're also made out of very advanced materials, the kind of stuff that's like very rare and expensive on Earth. Which gives them somewhat lifelike organic articulation, despite being very hard. Like they're bulletproof, but they can move like an athlete. This Dr. Javon, their body kind of looks like a large table with 4 legs. But it also has, like around the edges of the table, a bunch of different, what look to be faces or masks affixed to it, so they can see in several different directions.
When Bill has the opportunity to speak, I need him. He says, "Patient needs to be restrained. Patient is under arrest."
Okay, yeah, you can absolutely put Dot in a bed and still keep her tied up somewhat, and put Render in a different bed. The sick bay is relatively small and austere. This is a setting which has like magic healing. So you don't need to go into surgery for every little thing in this setting. But yeah, there are still things that magic can't cure or that require medical, more conventional medical intervention. So
Can I add flavor to this room?
absolutely.
Can it also have an absurdly comically large ice cream machine in it?
Just every room has a little ice cream machine.
Like our ship was sponsored by some big ice cream company, so they made sure there's like just an obscenely too big for the room it's in ice cream machine in every major facility on the ship.
We're painting such a picture of this whole ambassador.
That's why the ship is shaped like an ice cream cone. Holy shit!
Oh no! Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's the order of events, right? There's like this, millennia's long illithid war between this deep space squid race and humans on Earth. After the bloody conflict finally comes to an end, everyone's like, "How do we make peace?" And they're like, "Oh, we'll send a delegation. Just call it something cool." So the Velvet Fox Initiative is formed, and they're like, "All right, but spaceships are expensive. How are we gonna fund this?" And I know, ice cream.
That's when Lickham's ice cream showed up, and we're like, "We have some money we'd like to provide you."
I mean, Lickham's ice cream's pretty good. Maybe Lickham's ice cream gets their milk products from Dagger Milk, but Lickham's are the ones like, yeah, we want to be the ice cream brand of the illithid peace talks. That's free promotion right there.
Like a subsidiary of Dagger Milk.
Lickham's Tongue Cat Scratcher. This is already a brand. It's
yeah, but they make cat toys.
Jesus.
We make ice cream.
you are simply not going to believe this image.
Well,
I've just put the Amazon listing into the chat. Please look closely at this box art.
Oh, it's one of these. Oh yeah, no, there's a whole market
Jesus
for these
Christ.
It's so important to me that you see Lickham's, the cat scratcher toy.
There's no way the cat would have that face on it if that's what you were doing to them.
The cat is way too into it.
Yes, for the audience, this is a toy that you put in your mouth, which is supposed to simulate, I guess, a cat tongue that you then lick your cat with for their enjoyment. And the box art, it looks like a xenomorph is attacking a cat who's just extremely jazzed about it.
Yeah.
I like that the first line of the description is, if you love your cat and want to show it in a new and hilarious way, this item is for you. I don't think the cat's gonna find it hilarious.
Yeah, hilarious to who? I guess the people who were watching you do it and laughing at you.
I'm checking to make sure it's not problematic. That Lickum tongue scratcher wasn't at January 6th.
This can't be a repeat of the Professor Nuts situation. I haven't healed yet. I'm getting genuinely lightheaded. Oh, Christ.
The cat in this photo looks way more like the cat I would expect for how a cat would respond to this.
The product description says funny novelty gag gift, but I feel like some people are genuinely going to use it. Like, I don't think that's accurate. I think some people will be super into doing this.
Well, I'm really glad we all learned about lickums today. You enter sick bay, you put your two injured people down. The doctor comes over. She is a table. She is an alien shaped like a table, or at least she appears to be. I have put a picture in the Roll20 here.
They're wonderful. I love them. They look like a little mountain with little feetsies, and then they got like Oni masks surrounding them.
Yes, so this solitaire shell is made out of like extremely high-tech graphene. They're like pretty much indestructible, even though this is like an outer shell. Inside there's just like a little squirmy purple grape. That is the actual creature inside, but that is inside, so.
Alrighty.
Hello, doctor. How are you?
Solitaire do not have mouths, so instead they speak in electrical impulses, which convey a meaning to you. You simply get a response, bored.
Oh, what has you unsatisfied?
Magic.
Oh, you do not get to do enough surgery? The machines do too much?
Yes.
Well, if you're bored, do you want to help us get some information out of a person that's done a crime? That's like, there's got to be like a doctory way you can help us do that, like find some weird chemicals that are going to make them like, oh, they're suddenly going to go blabbing everything they know or something.
Interrogation? Dr. Jovan says excitedly.
Look, I'm not going to say that word because I could get in trouble with HR. Like, I'm sure as a doctor you can come up with like a term like medically induced truth extraction.
Oh, Bill Webb says I can deputize you.
Oh, okay, then in that case, if you've got Bill's permission, interrogation would be great.
Every D&D campaign starts with a counter that says, it's been 0 days since we tortured someone for information.
No, look, again, I'm not saying torture. I'm not saying you gotta knock someone around with something heavy. I'm suggesting maybe medicine has advanced to the point where we have just like, I don't know, an injection of Zone of Truth or something.
Yeah, space truth serum.
Yeah.
Sure. I think that the Zone of Truth spell does exist. I don't think any of you have it, and I don't think Dr. Jovan has it on deck, but they do have some stuff here. In fact, you watch them, they are a very large, like green table, essentially. So the way they move in here is like they're walking on, they have little feetsies that are kind of scooting around, but as they get over to Dot, they magnetize, their shell hums with some kind of electricity, and some tools like fly over to them, and you realize this shell is basically a kind of a Swiss Army knife of advanced technologies. And so when Jovan says interrogation, like a scalpel flies over.
I don't believe under duress. Not per se. We are not trying someone for war crimes.
No, we're just trying to work out whether the fact that we can't contact Sol is like part of some big master plan, or purely because, like, I don't like Sol because they're not illithids, and I like illithids. Like, we gotta work out where on that scale we're at.
All right, so it sounds like we're not doing torture, but are we still doing intimidation? Because that feels like where we are at roll-wise.
Oh, Trizzy's well up for intimidation. She will brandish a very large wrench very threateningly, like, smack it against one palm, Like, oh, I might.
This ain't your daddy's Star Trek. There's not any utopian Picard shit here.
Bill is the least intimidating person there, because Bill is trying to intimidate while still eating pie. It's too adorable.
Take your sensitive ass back to the Enterprise. We clowning this motherfucker.
11 for Trizzy.
I rolled an 8. I'd like to think St. Cecilia is not putting their whole vampire OC into this.
Wait, is that a botch from...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a botch from Bill.
Oh, yeah.
Just now?
He's eating pie.
Yeah. It's too cute, so it can't possibly be intimidating.
Yeah, so not only does the group fail, but there's a botch. This is very fascinating. So you're like standing over Dot being like, hey, what's up? What is the actual question that gets asked here?
What is your entire deal?
Oh, man, I need to think about this. What is an interesting botch consequence?
I could fall into the pie.
You drop the pie and it's just sad.
Yeah, well, in my mind, it's on the floor. It's floor pie, and Bill is just eating it off the floor. If we were botching, maybe he slips, falls into it, flails around madly in pie, and basically just completely ruins the mood that we're going for.
It's so impossible to ask questions as this duck flails through pie.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm taking this botch consequence, and I'm putting it in my pocket, and then I'm tapping my pocket knowingly, giving you a little wink, and then I'm moving on, and we'll see.
Okay. Well, until then, Trizzy is brandishing a wrench and going, spill the beans. Why can't we contact Sol?
I don't know. What do I look like? Some kind of satellite girl?
I don't know. I don't know if you're trying to cut us off from contact from everyone who isn't illithids or something. Like, I don't know what your game is. What's your game?
My game is that we're doomed, so we might as well do whatever we want.
Are we doomed because you shut off some kind of communication disc, or...
No, I didn't do it. What do you think I turned off every satellite in the entire solar system?
I mean, I suggested that to the captain that had happened. The captain thinks it's foolish, but I think maybe they all got turned off. Maybe.
Did you interfere with any systems beyond the janitor bot and the systems you had set up with your little doodads down in the blood room?
No.
I would like to do an insight on that to confirm.
Absolutely.
I rolled an 11.
Yeah, you don't think she's lying. She seemed genuinely freaked out and saying that we're all doomed, we're all going to die. It seems like she's reacting to the blackout. She's not the cause of the communication blackout.
Bill does another adorable feather shake to get that pie off, and tries to join into the interrogation, and asks, sorry, yeah, it basically just asks, so if you're not responsible, do you have any idea who could be?
No? Does it matter?
A little.
Not being able to contact, like, half of the universe is a problem.
If we find out who it is, then we could possibly reverse whatever it is happening.
If we find out who in the solar system turned everything off, so they're powerful enough to turn everything off, how are we going to do anything about it 1 quadrillion light years away? If we
don't know that that's the situation yet.
Wait, before we told you, did you know that communication with Sol had been cut off?
Yes.
Yeah.
When and how did you work this out?
I was trying to get the newest zine, the new Mind Flayer zine from back home.
And is this why you got all, oh no, we're all doomed, everything's the worst?
Of course. Okay.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. So, when did this happen? Like, you might... I don't know if you might be the first one that realized this was happening. When did this happen?
I guess I am the first. What does it matter now? I don't think you're grasping. This isn't just like, oh, you can't read your email now, right? We teleport the ship based on the transponder codes from Sol. If they're not broadcasting, we can never go home.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you were the first one that worked out this happened, and you can tell us when it happened or if anything else was going on at the same time, we might be able to work out what's going on. You might be the one that knows what we need to know.
I don't know anything. I make the posters which say give squids a chance. And I was just trying to get the latest the merch and stuff. I was just trying to download some hot JPEGs back from HQ, and it turns out there's nothing there anymore.
I'd like to say, Captain, I am getting the impression that Dot did not do anything to our systems. Have we considered the possibility that something has happened in Sol?
I believe Engineer Trizzy raised the possibility, but I don't see how something could shut off every single radio and satellite and transmitter in an entire solar system.
I have a slightly out there question. Is it possible that we've just been blocked from contacting them because, look, I'm going to put this as delicately as I can. Has Dot been downloading, like, really weird zines and now we're not allowed to connect to the Wi-Fi anymore?
I believe that our security has blacklisted several of Dot's attempts to download some prohibited material, but that's neither here nor there.
Xfinity sent us one of those DMCA takedown notices.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm trying to remember what the...
We contacted the ambassador on the planet Tsukiyama, and they haven't been able to contact Earth either. So it is not just us.
Okay, so wait a minute. If we can contact Tsukiyama, then our shit is working, and that it is the problem on the other end, right?
Well, yeah, we're able to contact Illithid worlds just fine, or like the places out here in deep space. The problem is either with our ability to communicate with like the Sol satellites, or something going wrong in Sol.
Captain, with the last known transmission we had from Sol, was there anything in there that came off as strange?
I will send you over some raw data. I haven't run it through any kind of algorithms or anything to filter out the important stuff. Remember, there's a whole multiverse out there of news and data points. So
this is a history check.
Oh shit!
To look through the logs to see if anything sticks out to you.
All right.
Can I get any kind of advantage for getting Gronk to help look through the data?
I got a 24.
I got a 14.
24 and 19 is great. The group succeeds with flying colors. I will say that you basically download the entire planet's news for the day, like not just Earth, probably all the habitable planets in that system. There's probably space stations and Mars colonies and stuff in the far future. And you like start scrolling through it, and I think a thing you are able to pick out, Saint Cecilia specifically, is just a precipitous drop in stock prices all across the solar system. That seems like there isn't like one individual event. It seems like there's like some kind of cascading economic failures throughout the solar system.
Okay, they had a stock market crash on the other side of the galaxy.
Did the Sol government forget to pay their phone bill or something, and they've been cut off by the telecoms?
Yeah, it's hard to say. It feels like something that like it would have been reported on more clearly, pretty soon. But then everything got cut off. So I will say with this raw data you're looking through, the mystery of the communication satellite that started this arc is nothing is wrong with the Rezubian. What has gone wrong is with home. And Dot tells you, with the teleportation option off the table, if we left right now to go home, we would get there in 129 million years.
Oh shit, we're a Voyager.
Austin, you double crossed. I thought we weren't gonna do Voyager, but we're in a Voyager, and I'm very excited we're in Voyager.
Cecilia would like to contact the captain again and say, Captain Dumil, I believe it is pertinent to pass along to all officers on the ship that we should be operating under the assumption that Sol may no longer be there.
I mean, maybe not that bad. Maybe they just had like a really bad financial investment and had to sell all of the communication satellites, but like some bad shit went down in Seoul.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Captain Dumil says,
Speak to no one. Come to the bridge.
Yeah, we'll do that. On the way up, Trizzy is going to be trying to rack her head on if there is any alternative communication method that has been set up for Sol. Like if there is any kind of fail-safe or backup. Like, is this tune the radio to a different frequency and we might get through? Is there anything we can be trying?
this is a great question. So I'm basically going off of D&D spells. So one thing that's very important about this setting is there's no faster than light travel. The way that ships move is either just the fire coming out of their engines or using D&D spells that teleport things. So there is a D&D spell that can teleport things long distances, but you need a frequency. Either you need an item attuned to the destination, which are signals that are changed and broadcast by like the docking of the destination. Right? It's like air traffic control, like trying to get you in, which is how you can come and go from the far realm to Seoul. Now with that offline, you are pretty well cut off.
Okay.
I guess we gotta go to the bridge and report.
Yeah.
And the cone of silence is on us.
Yeah, so you're on your way there. I'm curious about this conversation because this is kind of like the climax of this first arc. The question that's like coming like a speeding train. Like you're sitting in the front row in 1905, and here comes the train in this French movie.
But before we go, very quickly, before we leave the medical bay, Trizzy is going to turn to Dot and go, if you tell anyone about this, it's going to be a very bad day for you. Your room's going to get so cold, and I will not turn the temperature back up. It will be nightmarish. Like -4 degrees Celsius. I don't know if you use Fahrenheit. It's going to be cold.
Dot flicks her blood in your face.
And I will eat another pie in front of you.
But the question that is coming at you now, like a speeding locomotive, is: do you let everyone on the Rezubian know that they are stranded here on what was like a diplomatic kind of field trip, and now they're trapped? Or do you risk the panic in the name of transparency, or do you just keep that on the DL? This is like the branching point that's going to decide a lot of things going forward. I feel like this is something you probably should discuss before you get into the big room.
Bill, I mean, if I'm playing Bill the way I'm supposed to be playing Bill, I think he doesn't have a strong feeling either way. That's kind of the way I've been playing him. He doesn't feel a moral obligation, I guess you could say, to do either. He'll probably pick whatever he thinks is practical for himself.
I think Trizzy is aware of the chaos this is going to cause, but is also very much leaning on the side of, this is, at least in theory, a group of people who came out here to do a job and to do a mission, and there's no undoing the fact that this is the situation. It feels like the right thing to do long term is to at least be open about, we're hoping this is a temporary situation, but this is what's happening right now. Let's get on and do the job and hope that in the time we're doing the job, things clear themselves up. Like, don't be like, we're out here and there's no way home and we're never going home. But be like, right now things aren't looking great. Let's get the work done we need to do while we wait to see more.
So Saint Cecilia is like weirdly calm about this news, and is simply going to kind of like throw out there like, I don't think we need to tell anybody about this right now.
Was that Professor Peanuts?
No.
No, that's me. I caused chaos.
Oh man, that'd have been such a good foreshadow though if we started this episode talking about the cat, and at the end he just burst in through the door like
It's
Kramer.
fine, I'll edit that out. It was Professor Peanuts.
He's here!
Oh my.
He's been real behaved. I do not think we should tell anybody what is going on right now. We need to first figure out what is happening for ourselves. There is a lot of mystery, and I think if we explain things in too earnest of a manner right now, we invite confusion, questions we do not have answers for.
Bill interjects and says, "But clearly, we're not the only people on this ship who know. If Dot knows, okay, this is going to get around, and if we are hiding all of it, and then the whole crew knows, then we've got a mutiny."
Exactly. Like, all it's gonna take is someone going, "Hey, it's been like 2 days. Why can I still not download my cooking videos off of Schmick Schmock?" Like, other people are gonna work it out, and if they find out and haven't been officially told, we're gonna get more people like Dot. We're gonna get people panicking that this is the end and everything's falling apart, and like, if we at least introduce it calmly, we might not have a whole ship full of people kidnapping people and trying to get their brains eaten because they're panicking so bad.
Yeah, let's give a superficial amount of information to the crew for now.
I would believe the concern is if we say anything, we create more people like Dot. People who are going to look at this as a potential concern until we have nothing better to offer them, but Soul might not be there.
We'll just roll for deception. It'll be fun.
Okay, I'm glad we established this. So we have kind of a spectrum. On one end, Saint Cecilia is like, we need to stop the panic. On the other end, we have Trizzy, who's like, we got to tell people. And Bill is like a mediating force who's like, let's try to control the narrative. This is good. So you get to the bridge, the doors open, whoosh. You walk inside. This is the command center. It's like a multi-tiered setup with a bunch of computer banks. There are illithids and humans here pushing buttons, looking at screens, checking stuff. And then in the center, there's just a huge glass column, like a big tank full of green liquid. And floating inside is a giant brain. It is, 15 feet tall. It is huge. It has like dendritic tentacles, which are, just like the spindly filaments that it can grab things with. It is floating there. This is Captain Slack Dumille, and he says,
"Clear the bridge."
And the other illithids and humans get up and walk out.
I would just like to say that in my mind, this is not canon, but in my mind, Slack Dumille looks just like Mother Brain from Captain and the Game Master. So,
I mean,
just throwing that out there.
It's pretty close. It's not that.
Okay.
He says,
"So, we have lost contact with the Sol system. We have no idea if we will be able to reestablish contact. So we must operate under the assumption we are trapped here. This information may cause a panic. What are our options?" Security Officer Bill Webb.
Yeah, that's me. We've been discussing it. My feeling is that we tell the people, we confirm that we currently do not have contact with the Sol system, but we do not explain. We don't give them the impression that this is permanent. We tell them that this is temporary. And then they will be, oh, okay, that explains that. But they won't have a panic about it.
Are you prepared to deal with the consequences if there are further isolated incidents, such as with PR employee Dot?
Yeah, I mean, I have a knife.
all right. I mean, so right now I will say, like, out of character, this can be the plan if everyone agrees. I would say that, on the spectrum of, panicked response, this is one where there will be some, but not a mutiny, as you brought the specter of that word into the conversation. So, like, that was on the table, but are we all okay with this, or does someone want to advocate for their own more extreme position?
I think not necessarily advocating for a more extreme position, but adding to this, I think Trizzy would advocate for, we should be looking for routes home, assuming that there is no contact back from Sol, that we are going to have to do this if a promising one comes up, and this may need to be a conversation with the crew of, we are going to attempt to get back by ourselves, but to bring that conversation up maybe when we have a promising lead to follow.
Engineer Trizzy, would you like to be in charge of Operation Get Home, exploring alternatives?
I could be on board with being in charge of this. At the very least, this is going to be a massive undertaking for working out like how we can get this ship to move, be it trying to find new spells or routes through space that don't conventionally work. And I know this ship better than anyone, and if there's anyone that can get this ship back in one piece and can assess whether any alternative routes home we find are going to tear this thing into shreds and vent us all into space, I'm probably the one to know whether it's a viable plan.
Communications Officer Cecilia, do you have any input? It would be your responsibility to implement a sensible proliferation of responsible information.
There is a concern about how to responsibly put this information out into the larger crew and the consequences that come there within. I think we might need to make some precautions or expectations, perhaps, that there will be a lot of concern and anxiety and fear, and we do not have exactly staff prepared for it, so we may have to consider contacting any allied system on the possibility of a mass exodus of people who want to leave the ship.
Yes. This reminds me of another situation. What are we planning to do with PR employee Dot? We do not have prison facilities on the Rezubian.
Wait, we don't have a brig? Oh no.
This is a mission of peace, Security Officer Bill Webb.
Yeah, geez, where have I been putting everyone up until this point?
I think in the airlock.
Okay.
You just sleep on your couch.
I would say that we should. Okay. I'm just gonna say as Bill, we should after the doctor has healed up Dot should be escorted to her quarters and placed under guard.
One thing we have to consider is that we are not a military operation. We don't want to create the sense that we are creating some sort of prison inside this ship.
Shouldn't we, though?
That's the question. You're the security officer. If you want to build a brig, you can build a brig.
Is it Bill says under the circumstances of not having a brig, placing a potentially violent criminal who also could tell everyone what's going on under what is basically a pretty harmless house arrest seems pretty reasonable.
Is there any sort of, this isn't a question in character, is there any sort of jurisdiction that this, do we follow any laws, or are we just kind of flying by whatever we decide?
Yeah, what is the space law when it comes to kidnapping?
Yeah, I was like, she did kidnap somebody, so.
Yeah, this wasn't just like a harmless accident. This had forethought. There was a lot of blood involved.
That's a great question. So space law is a complicated, overlapping series of jurisdictions. I will say that basically Illithid space is in a state of low-level civil war over these kind of cultural questions. There are conservative mind flayers who are like, hey, what we do when someone does something we don't like is we kill and eat them. And then there are more progressive Illithids who are like, oh no, restorative justice or something, there are a lot of different opinions. But you are an ambassadorial ship. You are, this is international waters, and I'm leaving these kind of questions open to the players.
There's no suggestion then from Lickham's Ice Cream about what we're supposed to do in case of a kidnapping.
Is there corporate policy on what the brand would like us to do to not lose this integration?
No, eat more ice cream. That's their...
Yeah, there's no swearing on the ship. I'm aware of this because, it's not brand friendly. But...
Every time we ask them a question, their response is just eat more ice cream.
So just to clarify, there is no manual when it comes to this particular situation?
No, this is an RPG situation where I'm asking you to kind of set policy.
I mean, if it's my decision, I say put her in her quarters, lock it up, put a guard in front of it, and if we get to the point where we know we're just stuck here, then we can we're gonna have to tell the crew anyway, and then we can let everyone decide what they want to do. But in the meantime, this is a kidnapper, a violent kidnapper who also has critical information. I'm sorry, but she goes in the hole. I mean, her quarters.
Cecilia will offer, I will defer this decision to you ultimately as security. May I request being able to speak with Dot, though?
That's reasonable.
All right, so the team comes to two solutions here, two decisions, which are to give the crew a reassuring update on the communication situation. So not withholding, but neither being fully transparent, and you are going to confine Dot to quarters to keep her from doing whatever she wants. At this point, the doors to the bridge open, whoosh, and Dr. Joven walks in. She is a large green table with 4 little legs. She kind of walks in, boop, ba-doop, ba-doop, ba-doop. She has several faces around the edges of her main shell body, and she walks in and she says, "Danger."
Though? From what?
Dot.
Is Dot escaped?
No.
Is Dot in danger?
No. And I should... The doctor's still walking in, do like little little legs.
What's the danger? What's up?
Poison.
Poison?
Dot has been poisoned?
Juice. Do.
The juice, the blood was what was poison?
Brain. Do.
Can I get insight on whether the thing that's happening to Joven is the same thing that happened to Renda?
You can roll insight.
Yeah, because I feel like they're both losing their mental capacity in a similar manner.
This is just how solitaire communicate. For the record, they can only express one concept at a time in a burst of electricity.
Except for one delightful solitaire who was able to speak full sentences because I didn't understand a gimmick at the time.
I misinterpreted when they said poisoned. I thought something else was going on for a second. 13 to insight. What's happening here?
Yeah, Joven is telling you someone poisoned the juice, and she is walking towards the big glass container that the captain is in, which is full of green juice.
Oh
no. Who poisoned the captain's juice?
Oh, we've got a Kefka situation.
When?
Unsure.
How in danger is the captain?
At this point, Dr. Joven has reached the captain and bumps her face into the glass and says, "Check."
Do you need any help? Do you need us to check?
Help.
Okay, I'm Bill Webb walks over there and checks. And look. What would I roll to determine whether or not the captain is about to die?
Medicine.
Fair. Okay, that makes sense. All right, I get +2. For some reason, I have +2 to that. Not great. 9.
I rolled a 3. I'm no help. I'm not a doctor. This is not a machine I can hit with a wrench.
9, 3, and 14. The group fails. You look at the swirling green liquid that the captain is submerged in. It fills this entire container. It is like a cerebrospinal fluid. It's called the brine pool. All illithid hive minds have this. It's important nutritionally and reproductively. In fact, as you get close, you see that there are several tadpoles swimming in this brine pool. That's where they live. That's how this works biologically. And so you're seeing this, the group fails, so you can't tell if the juice has been poisoned. You have absolutely no idea. So you'll have to get a sample. And the captain says,
There is an emergency vent at the bottom. You can take the sample there.
I'm very confused by Dot's motives. I thought Dot loved the illithids and was like, hey, illithids are great. Why the poisoning the tank? What?
We'll have to ask her when we torture her more.
Oh, can we just throw Dot out of the airlock? Dot's already too much of a problem.
I feel like we need to ask her that question before we. Yeah.
Okay, let's get some juice.
Yeah. Someone else can grab it.
Yeah,
Bill does not want to
I'll
do it.
reach up there. I guess I'm the tallest. I have a little step stool. Go up there, grab
Okay.
like a little test tube worth.
okay, so you get a flask of juice for the doctor.
Yes.
All right, there's like a tadpole in there too, wriggling around. You hand that to the doctor, who says, "Check," and starts walking off like in a different direction. That's presumably some kind of lab.
Okay.
Yeah, we have to go check with Dot now.
All right, so the group runs back to sickbay.
Yeah.
I suppose so.
On the way, can we activate the telecommunication?
The telecommunication system is the captain, so you can say like, "Captain, can you connect us to someone?"
Render, are you still in the medical lab?
Yes, Grandma.
Is Dot still there?
Which one's that?
The one with the pretty nails.
You hear like rustling as someone getting out of bed. You hear something get knocked over. You hear something shatter as Render like stumbles out of bed to the other side of the sick bay, and then you hear the psionic response: "Nobody's here."
Thought she was tied down. Oh well.
Are there security cameras on this ship? Like, can we check to see if anyone just entered or exited sickbay besides the doctor?
There are probably some, but this is not like a police state. They're not everywhere.
Yeah.
I will say, with a check of some sort, we can do that. But I will, once again, to what Leon just said, remind you that botch I put in my pocket, I'm tapping it now and smiling serenely.
Oh no. Is this where the music comes in and you're like, ooh, the episode's about to end as I tap my botch pocket?
No, I think we're gonna finish the arc right now, but yeah, the Saw music is kicking in.
Can I roll an investigation?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah, roll investigation, which is like, search the crime scene.
Okay.
14.
18.
All right, 18 and 17. I think Bill Webb, as the security officer, you pulled up like a live feed on some kind of like little pocket device, look at the security cameras, and you see like the door to the outside of sickbay. There's no cameras inside sickbay. That would be a HIPAA violation. I guess in this universe, a HIPAA violation, and it'd be about GIF,
Nailed it.
the Hippo aliens. But you see Dr. Joven leaving sickbay, and you do not see anyone else ever leave sickbay.
Okay.
With an 18 and a 17, you run ahead. You get to sickbay. The doors open. Whoosh! You see Renders on the floor, with all bundled up, has just gone back to sleep. It's just pulled the blankets and the pillows onto the ground and is sleeping. But I think you look around. You see the Dr. Joven is not here. Dot is not here. I think the ropes were cut with a scalpel.
Trizzy is going to use the mental intercom to try and reach Dot one more time and to just send out the message. If you ever want to see your hologram boyfriend again, come back. Get back here.
Uh-huh.
There's a hostage situation now.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. I think Dot answers you after a moment. She says, "I don't need him anymore. I'm going to be an illithid."
How?
Hmm?
How are you going to be an illithid?
Well, Cecilia, you just handed me a tadpole.
Oh no.
And then you hear a rumbling in one of the medical drawers. You hear like something bouncing around inside, struggling to get out.
I'm going to open it, knowing full well it's the doctor.
Absolutely. It's the doctor's squishy, single-celled body. Just like a big grape that Dot threw in a drawer here and then crawled inside his shell and walked down to the bridge.
Is there some sort of like emergency kind of there's obviously not going to be like an emergency body, but like is there like what would you put a solitaire in so that they're not, I don't know, like not like a fishbowl, but like something that they could be placed into in the interim that they could use as a shell?
So you wrap Dr. Joven up in like a hospital gown, I think, on this big squishy big cell, and she says, "Theft."
And then say like, where is, ask the captain to be like, identify where is the doctor's shell.
Captain Dumille says,
I am detecting a ignition sequence in the hangar bay. It appears Dot is attempting to leave in the octopus.
Are there any procedures that can be used to lock down the hangar bay?
Yes, although they can be overwritten in time. You must hurry.
Okay. Lock down the hangar bay until we can get there. And Trizzy's gonna start sprinting through all those little wall corridors.
I want to use my city secret stuff to get there as quickly as possible.
all right. So using that feature, you're going to get there before she can manually remove the clamps that keep the ship from taking off. There's just like the docking clamps, but you run back to the hangar, and there's a bunch of ships. There's an octopus, a squid, a nautiloid, some other craft here, and you just like run out into this big hangar, and you see Dot, the human, is inside this giant table, this graphene shell, and she is attempting to use the magnetic abilities of this piece of technology to unclamp the ship so she can take off and leave. And she has an illithid tadpole and a flask with her, and she's going to try to turn herself into an illithid because she has lost all hope. She has come out to...
She hasn't put the tadpole in yet, though.
It would be inside the shell. You actually don't know at this moment.
Okay.
But it is an extraordinarily painful way to die, so you would assume she'd be spasming and having her brain literally eaten.
She'd probably wait until she was out of the ship before doing it, because it would probably hamper her ability to leave.
Okay. How do I get in this shell thingy? What exactly? I'm sorry, I'm just having a little trouble picturing it. What exactly is this shell made of?
Graphene. It's a real metal. I talked about this in another season, so I realized I probably could expand on this.
Okay, so I can't just stab my way into this.
If you reduce the HP bar in this combat to 0, you can do whatever you would like. I will say graphene is considered the most important material in the next century. It is 300 times stronger than steel.
Yeah. I have a very quick question. How sturdy to not being murdered is an illithid tadpole in a flask?
Extremely murderable. Essentially, 1 HP, 0 AC. Like, I don't think they're actually statted in the monster manual, because it's just assumed that if you attack it, it dies.
You step on it.
Because I'm just going to talk out loud. Like, the best option I have right now is Thunderwave, because I'm pretty sure graphene is real conductive of electricity, but that might fry the tadpole in the process, which would be less than ideal.
A point of clarification probably will be important this season, because a lot of your abilities are thunder flavored this season, Trizzy. Thunder is sound, not electricity.
Well,
I think it's important.
Fine, I'll get a lightning spell when I level up at some point.
Suggestion: while some of us can try to focus on taking down Dot, can we sabotage, like, this is like a bad case scenario, but can we destroy essentially the ship that she's trying to escape on to prevent her from escaping? Maybe not like explode it, but just like make it so it will not make it out of this hangar.
Yeah, can I roll to know where to whatever is the sci-fi equivalent of cutting the fuel line on this octopus?
Absolutely, that'd be Arcana.
Arcana. All right. Well, there it goes. Nothing. I get 6. I don't know shit.
All right, we got 2 above averages. I think you all know that you could cut like a fuel line or something that would make the ship not able to go to its destination, but it would probably still escape. She would just run out of gas in space somewhere and then probably call out and see who would respond. So that's like an end to this arc, is you prevent her from getting away, but she falls into the hands of like space pirates and then it comes back for revenge later, if that's how you want to spin this.
I think we should probably try to get her to not go at all. So we should explore other options.
Is just destroying the ship an option?
Everything is an option.
I would say like that's. I don't know if it's in character what I'm saying, but I guess like in a meta sense, that is where I think one of us should put our attention onto, is like, because I don't think we can burn her down fast enough that she could just escape in a ship.
Yeah.
But if we destroy the ship,
I think Bill still wants for this person to be captured.
I feel like we also lose control of our narrative if she escapes and really can just tell everybody like, "Hey, we're fucked. go hog wild."
Yeah, we don't need a rogue nihilist.
Okay, so if I'm now picturing this correctly, we can just attack the shell with Dot in it.
Yes, she is inside this shell.
Okay.
She's trying to magnetically remove the clamps, and she just like says to you, "Just let me go. The tadpole wants to eat my brain. This is entirely cool. We have an agreement. We have an understanding. Mind your own business."
I do not believe you understand the circumstances you are trying to accomplish.
Pull over. You're under arrest.
Oh God. Oh fuck! Not again. Roll initiative.
5.
21.
Oh my God, Bill Webb's unfucking stoppable.
Don't fuck with the duck.
Don't fuck with the duck.
I only have one. I only have one weapon, so I'm just going for it. Let's see.
When all you have is a kitchen knife.
Right. There's nothing to be done there. All right. 20.
Oh my God, yes. So her armor class is increased because she's in like an armored fucking vehicle. She is in a fucking bulletproof Humvee, and you just stab her. That's incredible.
8. I got 8 damage.
So she's standing out back like the octopus, which is an octopus shaped spaceship. Obviously, it has like its door open. She's standing out in front of the door, and you just run up and just slip your knife in between like a gap in the shell and stab into it. And Dot's human body is in there, and you hit something because when you pull your knife out, it's bloody. And she yowls in pain. The doctor is spent her entire life building this shell to be a doctor, not to be a necessarily a combatant, but she's going to give it her best. Trizzy, your turn.
Is it not me?
Yeah. No. Cecilia, your turn. I put them in the wrong order.
I'm going to run up and attack. Go for a swing. 15.
No.
All right. That's unfortunately all I can do.
Yeah. That would have hit Dot before she was in the shell, but now you also try to slip your blade in between a gap, and she just spins wildly, just like a top, trying to avoid getting stabbed.
Can I do a rogue action then as a bonus action and attempt to hide, and then try to like get her from surprise next time?
Yeah, I believe if you have that ability, you can use a bonus action to hide.
I would like to attempt to do that.
All right.
I rolled a 21.
Perfect. Yeah, you can jump up, slide under the ship or jump up on top of it or something, whatever, to get into some kind of ambush position.
Yeah, whatever Morbius did in the movie, I'm doing that.
Oh no, you're gonna morb all over.
Yeah.
Trizzy.
So, to correct my misunderstanding about Thunderclap earlier, I do have some lightning damage potential. My infiltrator armor can do lightning damage, But again, my concern is that I'm going to damage this illithid tadpole who's done nothing wrong. So instead, I'm gonna cast Tasha's Caustic Brew. So we're gonna throw some real metal corrosive stuff at this graphene table and see if we can melt through it a bit. So I'm gonna need a dexterity saving throw.
All right. 13.
Nope, that does nothing.
All right.
I needed one of the numbers to be 1 in the other direction. I attempt to throw the acid and am unsuccessful.
All right, so you spray some caustic brew from your armor, and it just slides off the graphene shell. Ineffective.
Yeah.
And
I think maybe the problem here is that Trizzy is trying to throw it too specifically to not damage the shell too much, ready for when it gets handed back to the doctor, and has been a little should have just thrown it at the largest area of the thing. Damage be damned.
now it is Dot's turn. She's going to put the magnet inside of the shell on full blast and attempt to send all of the equipment that was sitting here in the hangar that Cammy, the pilot, was using. So like a wrench, a screwdriver, a crowbar, just all this shit in your direction, just like a huge like wave of this stuff. Everyone dexterity saving throw as nuts and bolts, nails, and hammers come flying at you.
17.
7.
Oh my god. Look at that. Look at that. All right. Only one single damage to our duck friend and to Trizzy. As you you get hit by some washers, the little metal rings. Just a bunch of washers hit you.
Yeah, Trizzy just turns around and is like, I've been hit in the head by entire sections of piping. You really think that's gonna do much?
Yeah, well, I'm currently trying to get my brain eaten. You think I'm scared of you?
I think you are, because I think you're scared we'll stop you.
Well, Bill Webb's turn. Let's find out if you stop her.
Look, we just want the shell and the octopus. If you come out of the shell and you come out of the octopus, we'll let you eat the tadpole.
What? No.
You mean let the tadpole eat her?
Yeah, I mean, let the tadpole eat you.
I do like you care so little. You're just like, you can eat it or whatever. I don't give a shit.
I'm sorry. I mixed up my words. But yes, you know what I'm saying. We will let you do the thing that you want to do. Mostly this is a practical thing for us. We can't let you have all those things.
All right. Yeah, that's an interesting bluff. Roll deception.
All right.
I'm looking for a 15. It's a pretty high DC, but she's been stabbed half a dozen times today. She's lost a lot of blood, honestly.
15.
Me and my big mouth. All right.
Austin, you forced him to call that shot. You really did.
Yeah, you really pointed it at the left side of the stance. So here's how this works. There's a quiet moment where Dot's thinking about it, and then the hatch opens. Dot steps out. Her illithid t-shirt is like completely unrecognizably stained with blood. She's like staggering. She's had the worst day of her life. In her hand, she holds the flask with the illithid tadpole in it. It's like swimming around in the green goo. It is like kind of like a hostage situation, like a standoff where you're bluffing her. She has like a hostage here, and there's this tense, good, bad, and the ugly moment where everyone's like standing in this hangar.
Ooh. I have a plan. Sorry, I've just realized I have a really good plan.
No, that's fine. Let's talk.
Trizzy is going to cast Catapult on the illithid jar, which is within 60 feet of me.
All right, let's pull up Catapult.
It is presumably an object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within 60 feet. I'm assuming that applies to the flask.
This is a spell from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, so this is not your garden variety spell. Choose an object weighing 1 to 5 pounds that isn't being worn or carried. She is carrying it.
Okay, she is carrying it. Okay.
But you know what? The object flies in a straight line. If it strikes a creature, they must make a dex save. If they fail, I mean, I think you could catapult something into Dot's head and just knock her the fuck out.
I mean, that is the alternative, and I was trying to find another way around it, but yeah. You know what I think it is? I think Trizzy's gonna cast Catapult on her wrench at Dot's head.
Alright, I'm gonna roll dex. Let's see, what's your spell save DC?
13.
I'm gonna roll.
Nope.
4.
Oh, thank God. Yes.
How does the communication blackout arc end? Trizzy the Goblin.
Trizzy is gonna put her hands up as if to be like, see, we're not here to attack you. You can see weapons. My wrench is up here, and before Dot's had a chance to process what's happened, that there's no wind up. It's not like a throw. The wrench has just flown out of Trizzy's hand, smacked Dot right in the face, who has fallen flat on her back. Illithid flask dropped and sort of scattered and rolling a little down the hangar.
All right, so Bill Webb, you bluffed her out of the shell. Trizzy, you knocked her out. Saint Cecilia, as the credits start to roll, do you want to try to catch the Illithid flask?
Oh, shit.
Yes. I would like to catch the Illithid flask. What would you like me to roll?
Your highest stat.
So my entire point of hiding was so if I struck at her, I would get advantage. May I get advantage for this?
Absolutely, yeah. You come out from under the octopus or something?
I rolled a 21.
All right. That's an advantage was a 21 and a botch. Those two are you save the day and everything's okay, and this shatters and this tadpole dies and we start the next arc in a funeral.
I'm glad it was the first one. Huzzah!
Do you remember the way the engine sighed? I was stuck with you. Night was chasing day. Stuck to think about the cotton candy sky. The clouds were watching us just to run away. Knees touch, breathe out. Teenage heart sounds, drums beat, blood heats, wet socks, cold feet, eyes meet, hands meet. Are you with me? Moon rises, cold street, wet socks, cold feet.
What could I try that might be more helpful?
Do you have any rope?
Technically I do from an explorer's pack. I always
Oh.
just choose to flavor that out though, because I'm like, why would a ship captain have like rope on them at all times?
Lasso it. Come on.
Yeah. Can I try to? No, that's also just gonna be strength. That's gonna be bad too.